It is Fun and Games Day. You are watching and or listening to I'm Ian, and this is Ian the HR Pro live podcast, which is dangerously unscripted and probably excessively boring. A podcast that only a mother could love, basically. Um, Today is supposed to be fun and games, right? It's Friday. So I queued up a few things and then I got lost and in looking at something and that's why I'm late today. I was already working on what I was going to talk about today. I guess that's okay. That's forgivable. Yeah, yeah. Hot like lava. Earl Grey tea, hot like lava. Don't drink that for a couple minutes, Ian. So, I've had a hard week mentally. Um, it's been a hard couple weeks, it feels like to me. Um, the all the lives. I'm doing a lot of volunteering, so I'm basically not getting Saturdays free anymore. I spent a lot of time on Saturday doing some volunteer work, and it's just all kind of getting to me. And I feel like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, if all this hard work I was doing was actually putting money into my bank account, maybe I would feel better about it. There would be that personal financial stress that would be gone, and I could concentrate better on the lives and creating the content that I'm trying to create. Um, Fun and games Friday. We'll talk about anything and everything. Games, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, um, board games, video games, what else? Pop culture. We'll talk about music and books and just TV shows, movies, all that craziness in our society. And really, the Friday to Fun and Games should be why we live our lives, what we live for. Like today is the whole reason why we're living, right? Like fun and games, entertainment, art, beautiful things. Like that's the goal of life, is to enjoy life and have the ability to contribute our skills to the world for all to enjoy, right? And that doesn't mean everybody's got to be an artist and try to take up making art. No. You help the world in your own way. Your favorite skill, your job, your career, the things you do. That's how you help the world. And certainly I always tell people go out and volunteer. Go out and do the volunteer work. I mean, in this end stage capitalist society we're living in the West, in North America, in Canada, we're forced to directly volunteer and help our fellow people. Um, I mean, we got to value the life of everybody. We're not competition to each other. We're all here living together, advancing the human race, advancing Earth, right? We are learning so much about the universe. I watch videos by this creator on YouTube called Anton. Every day, Anton puts out a video about space primarily, but there's also a lot of science stuff, biology stuff that he puts out. but it's primarily about space, and it's exciting times with the new deep space observatories that we've put into orbit, and into the Lagrange points around Earth, so that there's no contamination from our atmosphere and things like that. But we're seeing so far, and we're starting to see things clearer in the cosmos. And something that Anton keeps talking about is that the new things just aren't fitting into what we think as normal with the cosmos. So we have our star, we have some rocky planets, we have an asteroid belt, and we have some gas giants and some smaller rocky planets that are part of um, the Oort cloud, and like this. We think our solar system is normal, and so we've come up with this idea that our solar system is normal, and if there are a lot of normal solar systems out there, just like our solar system, there is a very high chance that other life, now I'm not saying intelligent alien life, but life, creatures, could grow, could develop. But the more we look out, we're starting to realize what we're seeing out there is really different than what we would call normal for a solar system. Right? We have a good star. Our Goldilocks zone kind of includes Earth, Venus, and Mars. So there's a possibility that 3 planets could have life in the distant past. Our solar system is clear of asteroids because we have our big brother Saturn out there kind of deflecting stuff away or capturing stuff and eating up these stray asteroids. So we have a very calm solar system, and we have a very good magnetic field on our planet Earth, and we have a good magnetic sphere on our star that protects the whole solar system. And we travel around our galaxy, the Milky Way, in basically the Goldilocks zone of the galaxy. We're not too close to the center where the black holes hang out and all the stars are exploding and shooting the gamma rays out. So we're not that close, and we're not too far out that we're being flung out, or like we are fairly close to other stars being in the Orion arm, right? Like the Earth is kind of, it's in a good spot, and we're learning that most solar systems are not like ours. They have gas giants that are right close to their star that only take a few days to spin around their star, and like they're devoid of any sort of real good planets, rocky planets that might have life. And I mean, we are finding a lot of planets now around other stars, but they don't look like ours. They are different, right? They are just totally different. So I get this feeling from Anton, and I feel like maybe he's thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. We are very unique. We may be very precious in the galaxy and possibly within the whole universe. There's a very high chance that we are the only or very few advanced biological beings. Like, it is looking rough out there. Because when you think about planet Earth, thinking about our radio waves and our transmissions, we are a very, very messy race. We are just sending signals out into space like nobody's business, right? And our signals have just gotten stronger over the last 100 years. And if, it does take a long time for these signals to go out. But if there was another race advanced enough to at least our point, if they were within, a few thousand light years and they got to our level within a few thousand years ago, we would probably hear something, wouldn't we? Now, this is all distance and stuff like that. So we would have to, by the time we heard their messy younger race like us, they'd probably be more advanced. That doesn't mean that they're going to come visit us or anything like that. I'm not saying any of that. But the universe is, what are we looking at? 13, 14? It's a possibility we might be even longer. Billions of years, right? Earth has been here as a planet for about 4 billion years, I believe. And it's only been, life only started on Earth about 500 million years ago. So half a billion years, right? That Earth has had any sort of life, microbial life, and it's advanced, right? 500 million years. That's how long it's taken us to go from just random elements that combined into something to now, right? Basically from nothing, just chemicals, to now, to half a billion years. Humans, as we are now, are about 2 million years. We stood up, started walking, started losing our body hair about 2 million years ago. So compared to a 4 billion year old planet, we are the tiniest little sliver at the end of this timeline. We are so small, so insignificant. And how, there's all kinds of stuff that have, I guess, somewhere in the past, Earth's magnetic field lost its spin, almost completely dissolved, and that it slowed down and cooled the Earth's core. It slowed down and cooled and allowed that molten liquid to condense and crystallize. And that all shrank into our hard core of the planet. And then the molten started moving again. So at this time, a large portion of our atmosphere got stripped out. And the small creatures that were there started pumping out the oxygen, right? So the oxygen that was created allowed larger life forms to start growing, and our magnetic field stabilized. And now that's the big life explosion from like these tiny little microbe things to weird, these weird little leafy plant animals, plantables, into the more advanced creatures. There probably wasn't anything on land. This would have been all under the water, under our oceans. But So we had this big change so we had the luck that we had a great star. We had the luck that we had a big brother Saturn clearing out. We had the luck that we were in the Goldilocks zone. We had the luck that our magnetic field failed a little bit to allow life to just explode. We had the luck that we're in a good place in the galaxy. But as we go around the galaxy, not our fossil history, our geological history records what's happening. So as a crystal forms of something, as a crystal forms, it traps traces of the current atmosphere conditions in it. So we know exactly the history of the planet Earth as it goes around the universe or the galaxy. My mom says, "Good morning, Nicosis. I am here listening as to you as I am doing another order of poppies." Good stuff, Mummy. My mother is a traditional beater. That's what she's been doing since she's retired. And she's doing some amazing work. And yay to her, working hard. Get back to work. Um, anyway, so we know all this science stuff. It's proof that the way we go around the galaxy, we're lucky. The different conditions around the galaxy has influenced us as creatures and our advancement and all that jazz, right? So it's all science, baby. It's all there. But we are so unique. I think I'm starting to lean towards that we might be the only advanced biological creatures in the galaxy, maybe even in the whole universe, even though we know there's trillions and trillions of galaxies out there with, billions and trillions of stars in each one. Like, it's just, the numbers are astronomical. Astronomical. That's where it comes from. So, anyway, I think we are precious. We are extremely precious. We are extremely unique. And I think this is something that really needs to be protected as we think about ourselves. It's like the universe manifested, right? We are the universe. We are the whole reason why the universe exists. So, you hear that saying, we're star stuff. Literally, when the galaxy got started, a big bang happened. The early universe was really, really hot. It cooled down just a little bit, and that allowed the first stars to start forming as they gathered up all the hydrogen and helium, I think, that was there at the time, that was super hot, and it started condensing into these stars. And these stars only lasted for a short time, but there was very few elements in the early universe. Basically helium and hydrogen and a few other trace chemicals. So where did everything else come from? Well, every chemical we know, everything in your body, all the chemical pieces, anything out there outside, everything, every protein, every cell, everything was created in an exploding star. Everything. Gold was created in a star. So this early condensing of the universe into stars, short-lived, they explode. Each explosion, because the star compacts whatever it collected very tightly, and then goes supernova, probably turn into an early black hole, but it shoots off a variety of other chemical compounds. And then the next star forms, taking some of those chemical compounds from the first explosion, compresses them again, creates all kinds of new chemicals, right? Or new, what's the word? Not chemicals, Jesus. Elements. So the initial stars, the start of the universe was just all about creating all the different elements. And then finally, after 13 billion years or 10 billion years, 9 billion years, our solar system starts to form. And it has everything from all these stars, everything on the ground, everything you can, every chemical or element, every geological thing you could think of was created in a star. So it is absolutely true. We are star stuff. Okay. So we are directly created by this universe. Okay. This is big. This is a big thought, right? So we had all these additional good things: perfect star, Goldilocks range, Big Brother Saturn, uh, our our molten core getting weak, going strong, our travels around our current galaxy, changing conditions of our planet and our solar system, right? It all happened perfectly for us to form and be here, for us to get this consciousness, to create this brain that houses our consciousness. And however you want to think of that, whether you think it's a soul or you think it's just some sort of chemical consciousness, either way, it is the universe manifested in us. We maybe why the galaxy was created, why the galaxy is here, us. And now us, as the sentient beings as we are, can't find anyone else. There's no proof of any other people like us or more advanced. Now, there's possibilities. Maybe there are more advanced and they're just hiding from us in some way because they're just so technological. Technology is scary because when we don't understand it, it looks like magic, right? If you were to take your computer back 1,000 years, man, you would freak some people out. You would get burned at the stake. You'd get killed. You'd be tried for heresy. Like, man, you are a witch doing witchcraft stuff with your computer, right? Like, technology as we know it is scary to people in the past or people that don't know it, right? It can be a scary thing. So just like if we took a computer or a cell phone into our history, if we were able to time travel, we would scare the bejesus out of people, right? Now imagine some advanced race coming at us This is our deadly, sad colonial past where the more advanced races show up to a new world and take over, and most of the people die. And, there's just, with the proper numbers, there's just no way someone who's less advanced could possibly ever beat the more advanced culture or race, right? So it's a scary thought to think if there was a more advanced race out there, their technology could be magic to us. Like, we're just like, there's just no way that could work. There's no way. We think about gravity plating on Star Trek, or warp drive. We're thinking about warp drive. Can it really work? Can it really? We're basically at that point where we've dreamt up ideas, communicators. Well, now we got cell phones. We've got each of our cell phones. I got more power here than what sent the astronauts to the moon. I have got, hundreds of years, billions of people's knowledge in my hand. Like, I get everything. I mean, as long as you're not living under a rock, or your social media algorithm, you've trained it for hate. I mean, you can find the facts. You can learn anything, right? We've got everything. Our society, technologically speaking, should now just go through the roof. Like, we should have some amazing technological advances over this 100 years. And even the last 100 years, just look at it. We were well into the Industrial Revolution. We were using machines. We got electricity. We got flight. We got the telephone, the telegraph. It's just different types of and ways to make energy, and the internet, and the cell phones, the wireless, Wi-Fi. I mean, like, man, the things that have changed over the last 100 to 200 years. I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing. I mean, we can look back in our history and there's a few things that it's like, oh, fire, right? Allowed us to start cooking and eating animals instead of eating raw animals, right? Keeping us warm so we could migrate into cooler climates, right? Like, that was a slow change. I think about Indigenous people because I'm Indigenous, right? For most of the history, most of the 37,000 years that Indigenous people were in North America, it was spears, man. It was spears and foot power to go hunting, to defend yourself, to wage wars, like, it was spears. But we got tricks. We learned to hunt in different ways, drive the animals off the cliff and they'll die, and we got 500 buffalo we can deal with, right? Like, we started learning these things. The bow and arrow didn't even get to North America until about 10,000 years ago. The bow and arrow was a major technological advancement in warfare and hunting. The bow and arrow went from us fighting hand to hand to fighting at a distance, man, right? Like, we have all these technological advances. How do we, like, why is there something on my lens? This is just crazy. How do we keep our heads straight if we're thinking we're going to meet some alien life, man, and they're advanced and they're going to just roll in here and kill us or take us over, create a slave race out of us, and we're just sending them food, right? Like, it's scary. But the more we learn, the more it feels like we are alone. We very well could be the first race, the first advanced race. And that is such honor, such a delicate position to be in. If understanding this and kind of relating it to where the universe manifested as a human, as a thinking creature, we have this extreme duty. I said duty. We have this extreme responsibility to work together, keep us safe, keep this planet beautiful. Because right now, it's the only place we can survive long term. Even if we expand out to Mars and the moon, and we would still need support from Earth, because those places are not meant for us to survive. It's like saying, let's go live under the water. I mean, are we just going to swim down and live under the water? No, we would die. We would run out of breath after a couple minutes. Okay. Well, how about we use a little technology? Let's just wear us a scuba tank and we can go live down there. Well, that only gives us enough oxygen for a couple hours, maybe, right? I don't know how long scuba tanks hold oxygen for. But again, we still rely on the air being pumped into our tanks and then allowing us to live under the water. Okay, so let's build some underwater structures where we live. All right. But we're still depending on outside resources. It will take a lot of technology to make it sustainable under the water. And during that period, we still need the resources from the people living above the water. So this is the same thing. Mars, moon, wherever we're thinking of going in our solar system, we still need Earth. There's no place else we could survive long term that we know of that's within range, right? If we're taking the fastest ships we have now, it's still going to take like 50 generations to get to like Proxima Centauri. I don't know the exact number, but it's just extreme. You got generational ships, spaceship. The technology needed for humans to survive such a long voyage, I think, is still beyond us. I think it might be close meaning maybe a few hundred years. But we are precious. So we got to think like that. We're precious. And aside from survival, what's the next most important thing we can do? I think it's enjoy our lives. Create beauty and enjoy the beauty that our fellow humans create for us. I think first we survive, then we create beauty, and we share the beauty amongst ourselves. And we realize in that beauty that we are so, so special. And we were so the same. And that's our reason for living. That's our reason for being here. Yeah, create beauty. So, what's beauty? Beauty is anything that gives you fun and enjoyment. Friday, fun and games, man. That's what we're talking about. Man, that was a long rant. That was that was that was big boom to now. Like that the big bang to now. Yeah, so that's a big talk. That's one of those talks you have when you've had a few too many drinks and you're sitting on the side of the hill looking at the stars with whoever the heck you're drinking with, right? That's one of those conversations, man. Um, so create the beauty. Live for the beauty. And it's hard for us to think about that when we're in a society structurally, systemically is not set up to protect us all, to support us all, right? It's all about rich people, the powerful people getting richer, getting more powerful, stepping on the rest of us, right? That's the way it's set up. That's the way the system's set up. But we do have some ability to get out of this situation. One, of course, we can always do the political vote for the right party and volunteer for a good cause, whatever. We can do that. But we also have the ability individually to use this technology right here. I am creating content on the internet. I'm going live. I'm giving you the ability to ask me your questions in the comments and participate, create something, talk about something. Hopefully, you get some enjoyment out of this form of beauty that I'm trying to create for you. And this, oh, out of breath. We are seeing 20 somethings doing just this, creating content, aka beauty, and being rewarded for it. They're getting the money, they're getting the deals, they're getting larger audiences, right? Like this generation of 20 somethings are really using the technology that us and previous generations have spent so much time to build and create. And it's kind of it's this new age of business, man, that it's a little bit harder to comprehend, right? We're used to, let's create a business, so let's open a location, brick and mortar, and try to advertise and get customers. Right, this is kind of where we go when we think start a business. But now there's this whole different type of business, this online business, this creator culture business. And we see people doing it all the time. So it's possible. It just takes a long time and it's dedication. But Friday, fun and games, man. I just want to cut this live short. I want to start up my video game and just play my video game, my new video game that I purchased. But I will try to stay online a little bit longer here for you. What did I purchase? What video game did I purchase? Now, I love Civilization, and I wanted a game similar to Civilization. I just love playing it, but I'm starting to get bored of it. I did get Civilization Space one. It's basically just civilization on an alien planet, so it's just different technologies and terminologies and things like that. So it didn't satisfy my need. Excuse me. It wasn't the beauty I was looking for. And what I did find, I did some research. I was like, what are the good games out there? What are good space games? I wanted a good space game. Oh, yeah. So here it is on the screen what I came up with. Stellaris. Stellaris is Civilization, but in space. Each city I found is actually a planet, a colony. My phone is reacting like I'm talking to it. The name of the game turns on my Apple AI on my phone. It thinks I'm saying its name, but I'm not. Creepy. That's creepy. Stellaris. This is the game I downloaded. I bought the basic pack. It's like $66. It was like $73 Canadian after taxes. And it's like 3 expansion packs or something. But Stellaris has been around since, I believe, 2016. And I saw one review and they said when it came out in 2016, it was kind of just really shit. But they have continued to work on it and build it. And I think they're on like build 4.0 for the basic gameplay. And they've got all kinds of expansion packs. Just if I had purchased all the expansion packs, it would have been just over $370 for all of them. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy, man. So, but they have worked long and hard to make this game good, and I am really enjoying it. Oop, excuse me. I'm really enjoying it right now. So let's look at images. So why is it I can't make these images bigger? How do you just make the image bigger? I just want a large version of this image. I don't want to go to some weird website. Okay. So we are on the Stellaris website. And I've downloaded it for Mac. A lot of cool stuff with this. I just wanted to see these images bigger. So, yeah, okay, that looks not too bad. So this is the basic, what you end up seeing. If this is your empire, you can see if there's a planet or a star base. You can zoom in to the planet or the star base, and you can see the dashboard of how your planet is. I mean, that's a terrible view. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, there's a lot to it. You can design your ship, or you can leave it on auto. You go into each colony, you build buildings, you build districts, and that's how your colonies grow. And you kind of have this staged process you can use to explore the galaxy. You can use your military ships to explore, but I've been sending out my science ships. My science ships will show up to a new solar system, and they will do a survey, a planetary survey. So they'll scan all the planets. And then if there's anything good there, or if it's close by and I want it to be part of my empire, I send in my construction ship who goes in and builds a basic star base. And I claim that. So when we're looking at this image here, so each one of these stars that's within the boundaries, they put a starbase on, and it became part of their empire. Oh my God, yawning. Okay, so this is, and you just build, and you come up, there's crises and issues, and like within your people, and you're finding and discovering stuff, and it's really fun. Sometimes a little bit difficult because you gotta build enough ships so that the other people you encounter don't try to attack you. So you gotta make sure you got enough fleets there with enough strength and to defend yourself, and upgrade your star bases, upgrade your defenses and things like that, right? So it's and of course you're advancing your technology, so you're researching and things like that, and there's a whole trade and economics behind the whole game and things like that. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot to the game. So Stellaris, yeah, that's what I downloaded. If anyone's got any good tips for me. Now, I have been going on YouTube and I'm watching all the videos, and I found this very helpful, watching the videos, because I watched a few videos before I started playing, and the terminology made no sense to me at all. So I'm like, I don't quite understand what they're telling me that I should be doing. So I went to play the game. So you play the game, and you start to get the, there's someone in my back near the garage, and my camera keeps flashing. Oh, it's just shadows, because it's wintertime. When people walk down the alley, the shadow goes onto my driveway behind our garage, and then it sets off. Sets off the camera and says, hey, someone's in your garage backyard. Anyway. Yeah, terminology made no sense. But it started making sense because I was in the game. I was starting to play the game, and I would continue watching the videos. And after playing the game a couple times and watching the videos started making more sense. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. Because there's a lot to this game. There's a lot to it. But, I mean, $70, and I'm probably going to play this game for the next 5 years. Easy. Like, that's a good investment, 70 divided by 5 years. That's $14 a year for my entertainment. Me being entertained by this work of beauty that this company has created, and all the people work there that have created, right? I'm enjoying my life by playing this video game. And I'm not saying we should all just play video games. It's been so historically thought that playing video games is wasting your life, and you're gonna rot your brain, you're too close to the TV, and all that stuff is because we didn't understand the technology, and we didn't understand what the learning was. This is a large learning curve for me. This is very much keeping my brain active. The strategy game like this keeps your brain active, keeps your brain going. Yes, okay, I'm not making any money doing this, but what if I decide to just, I'm streaming on multiple places right now, LinkedIn, YouTube, my Facebook page, Twitch, and Twitter X. So what if I decided, let's go full on Twitch, and I'm just going to sit there and I'm just going to play my Stellaris game. There'll probably be people watching, right? They're seeing what I'm thinking, how I'm playing. They're learning. Maybe they'll make comments. Maybe I'll learn from them. I mean, that's what we want, right? The thing is, sometimes I feel guilty about playing a video game or doing something that's not considered economically supportive, advancing my personal finances or anything like that, right? But our brain needs that time, needs that beauty. And I love a good strategy game, whether it's a board game or a video game. Stop screen sharing. So this Stellaris feels like a cross between Civilization and the original Master of Orion game. I played Master of Orion 2, and it was a great game. It basically the galaxy exploring side is very much Master of Orion, and I could see that they just basically said all this cool stuff in Master of Orion, let's put it in our game, let's advance it. And I mean, man, Master of Orion was a turn-based game. So it's your turn. You assign stuff, you build stuff, you do things, and it says how many turns it's going to take you to do that. Then you press turn. Now, if you were playing with another person, you could play hot seat, and you were both taking turns on the same screen playing. Or me and my friends used to bring together like 4 or 5 computers, and we would actually have a hub, and we would set up a small network, and we would all play on the network, and we would all be able to play taking our turns, and that was pretty cool. And I think you can play multi-person with Stellaris, but I'm just playing by myself, individual game, because I don't play well with them groups really, unless it's turn-based. So Stellaris is like pause and go. Civilization was turn-based, but it was only your turn if something happened that needed attention. Otherwise, the time would just keep going. So you send someone over there, one of your units, and when it arrives, the game pauses and says, hey, this unit needs some direction, right? Okay. If you're in the middle of a battle, it was very much turn-based, right? But it would skip turns if there was nothing to do. And that's kind of what Stellaris is doing also, but you can pause the time anytime and you can do stuff and then you play. And this makes me think of the old Sim City. You pause the game, you build a bunch of stuff, you build your neighborhoods and things like that, and then you press go and time goes, and then stuff happens. A fire happens, Bowser attacks, a tornado comes through, a neighborhood that doesn't have power and doesn't build, right? And then you pause it again and you fix these things. So I spent a lot of hours playing SimCity as a kid. I think my mother should be happy that I played video games growing up as a teenager, because I think that these sorts of things kept me out of trouble for the most part. I'm not saying I was a perfect kid, right? But certainly compared to some of my friends, I was definitely not a bad child. I mean, come on, we're all bad children. Children are assholes, right? So, of course, I had the normal child issues, but as I got older, I didn't get into drugs and alcohol and partying. Like it just. Now, I'm good. Once or twice a year, I have a few drinks. That's about it, right? Like, and I haven't even been drunk in what, 15, 16 years. I've had a few drinks, but I don't really have more than one or two drinks. And that is very rare. That's like once every 2 years, man. Right? So that's not me. That's not my lifestyle. I'd rather spend my money on a new video game or something like that. But I tend to purchase a game and I tend to play it for a long time and get my real value out of it. Especially now as an adult. It's like, oh, $66 or $70 with GST, right? That's a big purchase. And I'm like, oh man, no way. So I'll purchase it once and just play it forever. I think I paid $35, $40 for Civilization 5. And they've got Civilization 6 out already. And they're probably developing 7. I don't even know where it is right now, but I'm still running 5. It's a great version. I got no problem with it. So, yeah, what was I going to go to next? Oh, I wanted to talk about a game I helped develop. A very good friend of mine, Jonathan Grack. He developed a game. It's called Cut to the Chase. This is it here on the screen. He even hired an artist to do artwork for the game, the rule book and stuff. And you can purchase here through drive-through games or whatever the heck it's called. What's it called? Let me look. Drive-through RPG. And what I'll do, I'll show you. I'll put the link on the screen right now. This is the QR code to the game, Cut to the Chase. My friend, high school friend, Jonathan Grack, created. He spent a couple years doing it. I remember I got to play with him, like testing. He was testing the rules and how things would function, so it was very fun. And then once he had the mechanics down, he asked people, I think the game testers like me, to create a scenario for the game. And so we got to create this scenario. You can see, where's his name? I thought his name was showing up here. Yeah, here, Jonathan Grack. So, good friend. Last updated 2019. So he had this updated before COVID. It is a 2-player RPG. Cut to the Chase is an exciting 2-player RPG where you play out a chase scenario. The hunter is much faster than the prey, but the prey has a head start and can use their wits and cunning to evade capture. The play moves in rounds, where each player gets to act in a scene framed by the other player. The characters have resources they can use to aid their actions, and if the hunter catches the prey, there is an epic clash The outcome of the clash ultimately determines which character is successful. So it says chase scene, but it's got a bit of role playing in it, because when you guys meet in that battle, you're basically saying what you're doing with. You're telling a story. It's a complementary story. I'm doing this with this resource I have, right? And included with the game are 16 playable scenarios that you can jump right into. They range from, in genre, from fantasy and sci-fi to cartoon cat and mouse and everything in between. You can also create your own setting. You can create your own setting collaboratively at the start of the game by answering a series of questions. So you're both creating the world. Now, when you think about Dungeons and Dragons, you have the Dungeon Master, and they create the world. And then you have the players who play in the world. There's my wife. Hello, my wife. I love you. So, but with Cut to the Chase, there is no Dungeon Master. So you are co-creating the world. It is very neat. And the scenario I created was the loved one. It's about this possessive person who's following their loved one for the day and trying to catch them cheating. And the loved one is trying to get away from them. And it was, Jonathan was surprised. He was like, oh, that kind of went in a strange direction. You know, the playable scene that I created for him. It was very different from like some sci-fi monster chase or something like that, right? So it's kind of out there, but you can create any sort of little mini universe you want for this game to take place in, and it's pretty cool, especially if you're a creative person and you have another creative person, but you don't have enough people to play Dungeons and Dragons or some other role-playing game like that. So this is very two-player, cut to the chase, just a chase scene, and it is just so neat. So scan the QR code, go check it out, go purchase the game so you can play it. What else? So as always, if you got a question, ask me a question. But oh, here's my mom. Yes, I'm very happy for who you turned out to be. Never a dull moment with you, especially good jokes. Yes, I have good jokes. I got jokes. Thank you, Mom.
When you think you have jokes.
Oh, my wife. Don't you talk over there. Peanut Gallery. Think I got jokes. That's why she married me, because I'm just all jokes. I'm just one big joke. And I work the back end. I work the back end. She talks about my bum a lot. That's what's going on there with the back end issue.
It's some of your best work.
I said back end issue. Okay, that was a poop joke. Anyway, so yeah, that's a fun little game. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And go support my friend. Right, go buy that game. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is I have spent years working on my own game. I believe I started this even before my friend Jonathan was starting his game. Oh my God. I keep getting to this point where I don't know what I should do next. I'm at that point where I need to create the cards essentially, and then try to play it. Like I'm right at that cusp, and it's just, it takes time to create these cards. And I want to create the basic cards, and I got all these ideas for expansion packs already, but I think I'm going to use these Dragon Shield cards. I'm just going to print out a piece of paper with the card info on it, what it does in the game, and then we're going to put it in these holders, and that'll create the structure for the card so I can play it, so I can play the game, test the game. I'll have to find some testers. I think it's going to be like a 2 to 4 player game. Anyway, what I'm trying to build, and this is why I was late getting into the live today, because I was setting this up. I opened the Word document, and I just kind of did some minor editing, and all of a sudden it was like 9 minutes later, and I was late, and I was like, oh my God, right? So I'm going to put this up here just to kind of give you a sense of what I'm trying to do. I think I might change the name, but you can see the last updated was 2013. Jonathan's game, last time he updated it was 2019, and now it's been sitting there for sale. It's Corporate Siege, right? I might change the name because I'm kind of thinking you're attacking someone else's castle, but the castle is your corporation. So that's why it's Corporate Siege right now. I might change it. I don't know. But essentially, it's the business cycle. The game is referred to the market. Each player is a corporation. Each corporation's turn is called a meeting. Each round of meetings is called a quarter. There is one tax time each year. Every 4 quarters and one tax time are a fiscal year. So the order of each meeting is called the agenda. So every time you play, you'd have these certain actions that you could do. And you have cards, and the cards are the deals you're doing and the people you can hire. So those are mixed in, maybe. I don't know yet. But you're doing that. You're trying to get the deals. You're trying to build your company. You have to play a card, almost like Magic the Gathering. You might have to, in order to play a high-level card, you probably need to have other conditions going on with the game, right? So if you wanted to hire a CEO, well, first you needed admin staff, and you needed a sales team, and then you could afford a CEO, right? Like it's kind of builds on the structure of a business. So that's the main object. It is your job to do deals that will increase your corporation's revenue or market share and decrease other corporations' revenue or bankrupt them. So, Corporate Siege, that's what I've been working on, and it's I think it's going to be fun, but I thought of all kinds of basically industry expansions. So you just have the regular core game, but you could purchase an expansion and trade out the cards and play oil industry. You could play forestry, logging industry. You could play, I mean, we could add in online businesses, right? Like the different expansion packs could put you in a different scenario of creating a business. I got a whole list of those on that document, and I think it would be pretty cool. So I just need to start testing it, man. I need to. Are you okay?
Just sick.
Just sick?
Fine.
Sick and tired. She just came up here to destroy my life and just ruin my life. Nah,
Rude.
she would never ruin my life. She is my life, the love of my life, the beauty of the galaxy that I love. That's my wife. So,
And phlegm.
and phlegm, and phlegm. So, anyway, I want to get that game built. And I think I just need to get that energy, that creative energy to create all the base cards and what they do. Because you have also have like a global market cards. So there could be something happening in a part of the world or the whole world that will affect your gameplay each quarter. Each quarter something different happens. And you've got a world map. You start off with your headquarters somewhere in the world, and you can expand to other places, and you can do just regular deals, or you could do shady deals. So every time you do a shady deal, your corporation rating goes down. If you get too far, then the exchange commission or whatever I called it, they can come after you and audit you, shut your business down, right? You're just doing too many shady things, so you've attracted their attention. Yeah, it's the people that monitor the stock market and stuff like that, right? So, but you also have at the other end, you could get honored on that same scale. So you'll be business of the year. So I think business of the year, I think you get to go first next round, right? So it's good to always be business of the year because you can kind of set the tone for the round, for the quarter. And I wanna see it through. I mean, it's been a long time. I started creating this when I was still in university. I graduated in 2016, so I was creating this. I should have had it done already. I should have been trying to sell it already. I should have made millions of dollars off this game by now, man.
Well, that's not what was meant to be.
That's not what was meant to be, says my wife. Yeah, obviously I just wasn't in a place to finish it. And just, you get exhausted. You get mental exhausted from creating the beauty of the universe, right? So, you missed the first part of my live, and so you don't get the reference to beauty of the universe.
But you called me the beauty of the universe.
Yes, because you, like me, are the universe manifested as biological beings. And we found each other.
Out of all of the billions and all of the people.
Of all the other billions of people and maybe not other intelligent life. So we've come full circle. Back to it. We might be so extremely special and unique to this universe that we have a duty to protect our planet. We have a duty to create the beauty, aka the meaning of our lives. We need to honor the fact that we have been created by the universe, manifested by the universe. There's the spammer. 1 hour and 14 minutes in. The spammer from Twitch. The spam bot from Twitch. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space, it says. Thank you, Spambot. Thank you. I can now end my show knowing that the spam bot has spammed me on Twitch, increasing my profile, increasing my ability to create beauty